I'm still at Love's in Polk City, Florida, and I managed to fix my air conditioning yesterday. I saw signs, you know, Love's usually just does tires, right? They don't do mechanical services, but then at this particular truck stop I saw signs everywhere. When you enter the truck stop, like there's signs now offering mechanical services. And I went over and I said, can you guys look at my air conditioning? Oh, but before that I called my Mac dealer in Canada, because I had 1 year warranty for the truck, but some components the warranty is longer, like powertrain, you know, drivetrain, transmission, stuff like that. I think it's like 3 years on my truck. So I called them, I said, is my air conditioning covered? After 1 year they said no. Okay, so that means that I don't have to wait till I get back to Canada. I have to pay money anyway, so might as well fix it here because it's very hot. But today is not too bad. Today's lots of clouds. It's 10:30 now, and until like 9 o'clock there was no sun. It was very cloudy. So anyway, so I went to Love's and dropped the trailer. They hooked up the, you know, special AC machine, and he looked, there's a sticker. He showed me the sticker when you open the hood on my truck. On the left side, on the driver's side, there's a sticker that says how many pounds of gas your AC is supposed to have. I think my number was like 3.5 pounds. So his machine tested, like my blower works, right? The fan works, so the actual motor works, but it was not cold. And so the machine showed that basically takes out all the gas first to measure how much is in the system, and it showed 0.8 pounds instead of 3.5, right? So that's why air conditioning did not work. And then the second phase, the machine pumps pressure, I think just air, inside the system, and checks for leaks. And the funny thing is, he says if it shows leaks, we cannot help you. We cannot find the actual leak because we don't have a sniffer. Because he says this gas, you cannot hear it, and there's a special device that can sniff it. We don't have it. And that's just another example how you waste money at truck stop shops, because sometimes they have partial equipment, they don't have full equipment, you know. I got lucky because the system showed no leaks. After like 10 minutes it was pumping pressure. It showed no leaks. So a buddy of mine is calling. Yeah, that was my friend, the guy who had his truck smashed. So his company gave him a free truck, like a company truck. He was telling me how he likes it very much because his is a Volvo with a smaller sleeper, like 670. And they gave him a Cascadia with the same wheelbase as my truck, 244, and he says it has a double bunks, and he says the bed is so comfortable. And this guy has been a long time fan of Freightliner trucks because he likes, you know, the cheap repair, cheap parts, you can fix them anywhere. But so anyway, yeah, so yesterday the guy, I got lucky that there was no leak in the air conditioning system, otherwise they were not able to fix it, you know. Unless he says you see some grease, and I showed you one pipe underneath, because there's you know, I have dual air conditioning, kind of like one zone is for driver's seat, but then there's another switch in the back there. I can have the air conditioning work only in the bunk, and under the cab you can see a couple of aluminum pipes, clearly air conditioning related, and one of the connectors was covered in grease, and I showed it to the guy and he said, yeah, that's a possibility, that's where a leak can be. Or maybe he says they didn't put enough gas at the factory, because I said the truck is, you know, October 2014, but it worked fine before. So I think it just, you know, evaporated, because I got the truck in October, so I didn't use air conditioning much in 14, right? Then I use it in the summer 15, but still, you know, I didn't use it as much as, let's say, guys who are based in here. So maybe it just evaporated. And the worst thing is that there's no reservoir I said, where does all this gas sit? And he said, oh, it's just in the cables, in the wires, like in the hoses. Kind of like weird design. Of course it evaporates, like because there's so many connectors between all these pipes, you know, like one tiny leak and it's under pressure inside, right? So oh yeah, and then this morning I did my paperwork for January, my expenses, you know, my income and expenses. I filed my HST sales tax report to the government of Ontario. So now I'm gonna get some money back, and I made a mistake, $500 mistake. Basically I forgot to add the sales tax that I'm paying for the truck and trailer and my parking, so I have to do it next time, because I know if I try to correct it, it's gonna postpone everything by like 3 weeks. I will never see this money before the end of this month. Like this, usually they pay me in 2 weeks, just the money drops into my account. So it's a sales tax. Whenever I buy something trucking related in Ontario, Canada, like fuel, or I do repairs, there's a HST, our 13% sales tax, and I can claim that, and I get a refund. Always a nice thing to do, you know, to get that money back. So I did that. I did my books for January, and I sent in a maintenance report to my company. I hate this. You know, you have to take all your receipts, any repairs I did on the truck and trailer, you have to write them up, like, you know, truck mileage, what did you do, where, when, and then you have to photocopy, I do it with my phone, photocopy all the receipts and email them to the company. But this is a DOT requirement, like federal regulations require this, so I gotta do this. Anyway, I'm tired of this truck stop. There's no restaurant. But oh, another cool thing happened yesterday. Since this is Love's, I rarely fuel at Love's, so I didn't have any points for a shower on my card. And I went in and I said, I have to pay for the shower, I don't have enough points. And the lady just gave me the key, because this particular truck stop, they don't have the code, like the pad on the door with the code they give you. They just give you a key. She just gave me a key. I said, excuse me? And she said, well, you all set. I said, okay, thank you. So I got a free shower, which probably is worth like at least $11 US. And then I did my, I clean shaven now, shaved my head. But what I don't like is that there's where I'm parked, it's the exit, and there's always people parked in here where it says no parking next to the scale. Like this morning there were 3 trucks in here, you know. So I'm afraid that if I stay here I won't be able to get out. And also there's a constant smell of urine in this particular location, and there's no restaurant, just Arby's. But another thing is that this whole place is under construction. Like the the road leading to and from the truck stop, so you cannot go anywhere, you know. I can probably walk like south on this road, because like that's north over there where those cranes are. There's I-4 in there, but you know, this heat. So I want to move to that Pilot in Haines City. At least there they have Denny's. Turned on my air conditioning. Amazing. But I'm still concerned, like what happened with the gas? You know, if there's no leaks, if that machine said there's no leaks, your system holds the pressure, but instead of 3.5 pounds I have 0.8. Yeah, something is not right. probably had a very small leak, and this is the first time I'm fixing the air conditioning on this truck. So it took, what, October was 1 year, November, December, January, February, basically 16 months for the gas to disappear. I still have a suspicion on that greasy part of the hose I saw under the cab on the driver's side. You know, next time I'm doing something at the dealer, I'll ask them if they have that sniffer, that little gadget that actually I don't think they even use a gadget. I think they just use a kid. You know, some of those talented kids that, yeah, you see, this whole road is closed. Now look at this. This is a truck stop, right? Why would you build such a narrow okay, I didn't go over the curb, but I just went. I can see the tire marks over here. Yeah, I'm running my rear wheels now. My rear tires are on the yellow line because it's very narrow. You know what?
After 50 meters, turn right, Highway 559, State Road 559.
My wheel is turned. I also mentioned this before. When the steering wheel is turned at a certain angle, I cannot activate the turn signal because I have self-canceling turn signals, and that's their weakness on the big. I never have this on a car or like on a personal vehicle, but because this is on big trucks, these self-canceling turn indicators are kind of like in their infancy. They don't work properly, right? I need my turn signal when I'm turning. I don't want to be concerned about the position of my steering wheel. And that's another thing that this Mac engineer screwed up here. Just if you cannot make a self-canceling signal work, just give me back the traditional non-canceling signal, right? At least I can signal my intentions. I don't want to get a ticket from DOT. Yeah, I think this town is called Lake Albert. And my GPS wanted me to go on a small road, like going west, and I decided to stay on the main road because this is a car GPS. I cannot trust it. And I see the whole, nobody was turning that way, everybody was going this way. Especially there's a truck ahead, which is often is my clue where trucks are going, you know. I see a truck ahead, I'm following the truck. And my GPS found the alternate routing right away, so I'm just going to this what looks like US 17.
After 400 meters, turn left.
Well, I hope this thing is not too low. No, I didn't catch it. But if I was loaded, I would scratch the bottom of the trailer. Look, the guy has a flat tire. I can see right away. The rear left, flat.
Take the exit right, US 27, northbound, Highway 25, towards Ocala.
27 north looks like a freeway. So 1 kilometer, half a mile to the pilot.
After 800 meters, turn right.
Okay, I hope they'll have a spot for me over there. I made it. I found a spot. So there was a bunch of them in here, but very tight, you know, the space between the trucks, I don't know. And I see most people, you see like this guy, they go forward to the actual truck stop and then they back all the way in here, because I got lucky because that space was empty. That guy is just backing in here, so I went all the way forward towards that Burgundy Classic in the corner, and because there's space between the trucks, right, I was able to back in here. And you see my truck sticks out. See, the guy is backing. What a crazy truck stop, you know, like who plans these? Whoever planned these was probably thinking that now I have to watch his wheels, you know. That's how accidents happen. The guy tries to send his trailer to the left, and he's not watching his blind side on the truck, and he hits somebody with so yeah, it's a very dangerous truck stop actually. And that's why normally I don't do this, but I mentioned this before because my trailer wheels are so far in the back, and it's a 53-foot trailer. I had to run the lift axle. It was basically right over the curb. So I checked and I just, you know, I went over the curb. So my lift axle is, and it's not sitting on the grass, it's above like this. Just because it was up, it allowed me to okay, now let's watch this guy. See, he has a very close tandem. Look at his tires. His tires are like going sideways. The angle is too big between the truck and the trailer because his trailer is already going into the other trailer. See, that's too much of an angle. Now, this guy is definitely not afraid of big trucks. Okay, yeah, this guy is gonna do it because I don't think this is a 53-foot trailer. Yeah, it looks like it's a 48-foot kind of like container or something. With its own, I see fuel tanks at the bottom. Kind of like a reefer, probably. I saw these. Sometimes they use them for generators. And all around me, Freightliner, Peterbilt, Freightliner, 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 Volvo, Peterbilt, Freightliner, Freightliner, Peterbilt, Freightliner, Volvo, 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 Freightliner. And on this side, what is this? International, International, International. Look, they're like 1, 2, 3. All these are international trucks. Huh, interesting. So all international trucks park on this side. Freightliner, Peterbilt, Volvo on that side. Now I'm in a Mac. Like, I don't know. Is this the right row? And these Volvos And over there, that's the blue one. I believe that's the International. I can tell by the mirrors on the fenders. Like these fancy mirrors, those are Volvos, right? And those look different. And then I see a bunch of Freightliners. You see, and the time now is 11:45, and it's already basically 90% full. You know, that's what happens. That's why actually I don't like these L-sized truck stops, and this one was marked as L. 80 to 150 spaces. Where did they find 100 in here? Anyway, now I'm going inside the truck stop. Probably have some lunch at the Denny's over there and finish the movie and await instructions from my dispatch. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.